Good morning everyone. This is class 6th, subject social science, chapter number 8 of history, and the name of the chapter is Ashoka the emperor who gave up war. As you know that we have already completed one of the lecture from this chapter, so this is going to be our lecture number 2. In lecture number 1, we talked about the empire, we talked about the dynasty, the Mauryan dynasty, then we talked about the famous or important cities of Mauryan dynasty and the ruling or the trade done by the Mauryan empire. Okay, the Mauryan emperors. Clear? Then we also talked about the 3 great rulers of Mauryan empire. Some more topics we will be covering in today's lecture of this chapter, Ashoka the emperor who gave up war. So let's see the topics. Topics to be covered in today's lecture are: number 1, Ashoka, a unique ruler. Why Ashoka is known as a unique ruler in Indian history. Number 2, Kalinga War. The very important that if we talk about Ashoka, Kalinga War that played the important role in Ashoka's life. It was the turning point of Ashoka's life, we can say. So we'll discuss about this Kalinga War. Number 3, Ashoka's Dhamma. Ashoka started Dhamma. We'll discuss about that Dhamma also. Then number 4, Ashoka's inscriptions or the messages that he tried to give to the people, and these inscriptions basically were written on rocks and the pillars. Number 5, Great Wall of China. As you know that in every chapter we take the elsewhere, and in that elsewhere we take the things those were going on in other lands at the same time. So here we'll talk about the Great Wall of China. And at last, of course, we will be taking the homework that will be on the basis of the topics covered in today's lecture. Okay, so let's start the topics one by one. Number 1, Ashoka, a unique ruler. Why Ashoka is known as the unique ruler in Indian history? Let's see. The most famous Mauryan ruler was Ashoka, the first ruler who tried to give his messages to the people through inscriptions. As we talked that the 3 main rulers of the Mauryan empire was Chandragupta, then his son Bindusara, then Bindusara's son Ashoka. But Ashoka was the most famous among all. Clear? So he was the first ruler who tried to give his messages to all the people through inscriptions. And one more thing about Ashoka was, he was the only king who stopped war, who stopped taking part in wars after Kalinga War. That will discuss why he stopped that. Most of Ashoka's inscriptions were in Prakrit and were written in Brahmi script. Prakrit language we talked in chapter number 7 also. So most of the inscriptions were in Prakrit language, as it was the language of the common people at that time, as we discussed in chapter number 7. Clear? And Brahmi script, that Prakrit language comes under Brahmi script. As you know that the languages, they are the part of different scripts. Like if we talk about Hindi language, that is a part of Devanagari script. So in the same way, here Brahmi script under which the Prakrit language was there. Clear? So most of the inscriptions were written there in Prakrit so that he could give the messages to more and more people, as Buddha and Mahavira did. And I told you, I want to tell you that also, that he was influenced by Gautam Buddha also. That we'll discuss later on also. He even appointed officials who went place to place to give his messages. Clear? Some of the officials he appointed, and those officials basically were known as Dhamma Mahamata. That also we will discuss when we will discuss about Ashoka's Dhamma. Clear? So the officials, the duty was that to give messages to the people and to in different lands. Clear? So this is all about why Ashoka was the unique ruler. He was the first ruler who tried to give his messages through inscriptions. And the second thing, as I told you, he was the ruler in Indian history who stopped taking part in the wars. Clear? He started the brotherhood after the Kalinga war, that we'll discuss. Next topic is Kalinga war, the very important part of this chapter. Kalinga war, where it is? Kalinga is the ancient name of coastal Orissa, means the present day the Orissa, the one of the states there in India, that was the ancient name of that part was Kalinga. And there the war was fought by Ashoka, and he won that war even. Then let's see what happened after that. Ashoka fought a war with Kalinga. Kalinga raised a large army but defeated. More than 1 lakh people dead in this war. So this was the thing that happened there in Kalinga war. Most of the people, more than 1 lakh people were dead, and even many people, those were injured. And then Ashoka saw that some of the innocent people were also killed there in the war, and that was the turning point why Ashoka gave up the war. Let's see. Kalinga war proved a turning point in Ashoka's life. As I told you that in that war many people were dead and many were injured. Even the innocent people, those were Brahmins, monks, they were also killed in that war. Okay, so after that war, Ashoka saw that the people, those were dead in the war, and the huge destruction that were made by the Kalinga war, and that made him disappointed. Due to that, he was disappointed and he gave up war. He was shocked to see heavy loss and bloodshed in the war. Clear? After the war, when he saw the people, those were dead there, the bloodshed of the people, that after looking over there, he was shocked. Number 2, he repented and decided to spread brotherhood, love and peace. After that war, when he saw that many innocent people were imprisoned, many were killed, many were injured, even the people, those were innocent like Brahmins and monks, they were also killed, okay, and many were made the slaves, servants. So after looking there, he repented on that and decided to spread brotherhood, love and peace instead of fighting wars. He also decided not to fight any more wars. As I told you that emperor who gave up wars, okay, so that after Kalinga war, when he was disappointed after looking the result of that Kalinga war, he decided not to fight any more wars. He worked for the welfare of the people. After this war, he just thought about the welfare of the people. Different work he did. He built different shelters for the strangers. He built different wells even for the people. So different welfare work he did for the people. Ashoka's inscriptions describing Kalinga war. One of the inscription that was found, that was written there, in that inscription it is showing that he was describing the Kalinga war. What was that? Ashoka declared, 8 years after becoming king, I conquered Kalinga. About 1.5 lakhs were captured and more than 1 lakh people were killed. Okay, so that inscription that was found, in which Ashoka declared that after becoming king, after 8 years after becoming king, he conquered. Conquered means won. Okay, so he conquered Kalinga, the present day Orissa part. About 1.5 lakhs were captured, means they were captured as slave, and more than 1 lakh people were killed there in Kalinga war. This filled me with sorrow. I have decided to observe Dhamma and to teach other about it as well. So what he is describing there in this inscription, that after the great loss there in the Kalinga war, this filled him with sorrow, and then he had decided to observe Dhamma, and that he also decided to teach that Dhamma to other people also. Now we'll discuss what is this Dhamma. Dhamma is the Prakrit word for Sanskrit term dharma, religion. So what is Dhamma? Dhamma is the Prakrit word for Sanskrit term dharma. In Sanskrit it is called dharma, and if we talk about in English, there we call it religion. Clear? So, and that Dhamma basically, in which he taught the people about brotherhood, about love, about respect the lives of others, and he was influenced by Gautam Buddha's teachings. So he was influenced by which religion? Buddhism. Ashoka's Dhamma. Ashoka believed he had a responsibility to instruct his subjects, which he did through his Dhamma. So what he's trying to say here, I will explain it. He was also inspired by teachings of Buddha, that I already told you. So Ashoka believed he had a responsibility to instruct his subject. Here subject means pupil, the people of his his empire. So he had the great responsibility of with him to teach, to instruct the people living there in his kingdom, in his empire. Okay, so which he did through his Dhamma, that was done through Dhamma, through dharma, that he taught to the people. He was also inspired by the teachings of Buddha that I told you. Clear? That was Dhamma. He appointed officials called Dhamma Mahamata, who went from place to place for teaching Dhamma. In starting, as I told you, that he had the officials for sending his messages to the people. So these were the officials basically whom he appointed for sending the messages of Dhamma. Okay, for the teachings of Dhamma. So these officials were known as Dhamma Mahamata. So who were Dhamma Mahamata? Dhamma Mahamatas were the appointed officials by Ashoka, who went from place to place for teaching Dhamma. Clear? The next is, he got his message inscribed on rocks and pillars. So this is also asked in 1 mark, where he got the messages inscribed. So he got the messages inscribed on rocks and pillars. Ashoka also sent messengers to other lands for spreading his idea of Dhamma. Means he sent them to Egypt, Greece and Sri Lanka. So that Dhamma messages he was not giving there in India only. he sent those messengers, those officials to other lands also for spreading the idea of Dhamma, for spreading the idea of religion. Okay? So he sent them to other countries like Egypt, Greece and Sri Lanka. So this is all about Ashoka's Dhamma. Clear? And the messages were written there in Prakrit language. He appointed the officials there to those were known as Dhamma Mahamata. Those he appointed to send the messages of Dhamma to different lands. Clear? And the messages, those were inscribed there on rocks and pillars. Ashoka did the work of public welfare also. He built roads, dug wells and built rest houses. He also provided medical treatment for both human beings and animals. Earlier also I told you that he did many welfare work. So which type of work he did for the welfare of the people? He built roads, dug wells and built rest houses. He also provided medical treatment, means medical facilities also he provided to the people, for not only for human being, for animals also. Clear? Then Ashoka's messages. Some of the messages, those are given there in your book also. What type of messages he was trying to give to the people? Being gentle with slaves and servant. We should not be harsh with our slaves, with our servant. We should be gentle, we should give them love and good treatment. Number 2, respecting elders. According to Ashoka, he gave the messages to the people, we should respect our elders. Number 3, treating all creatures with love. All creatures, whether they are insect, whether the animals or human being, we should be kind to each and everyone. Each one should respect the other's religion. Means when we are respecting others' religion, so obviously the other people, they will respect our religion also. So we should be respectful to others' religion also. So these type of messages he was trying to give to the people, so that he could spread brotherhood, love and peace among the people. See, so these some pictures, some architecture, or you can say the sculpture work that are given in your book also. This is Rampura Bull. What is this? You can see there in your book also. This picture is given in your book, and it is mentioned there that this Rampurva bull, that is the sculpture at the time made at the time of Ashoka. Clear? And this now it is kept there in Rashtrapati Bhavan of our country. Clear? So this is one of the piece, the great piece of sculpture that was made at the time of Ashoka, Rampurva bull. Clear? So it was there in Bihar at the time, but now it is there. It is placed there in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Now let's see one more. This everybody you just see on the coins, the lion capital. Okay, so this lion capital in which 4 lions, they are standing back to back, and Ashok Chakra what is given there, then 2 animals, then the base of that it is given. That was also built there at the time of Ashoka in Sarnath. Clear? So the picture that we are looking at, the coins, that has been taken from the Sarnath only. So these are 2 of the examples, those are given in your chapter also, the great example of sculpture of the Ashoka's time. Now some of the Great Wall, yes, that was also left. Great Wall of China. Emperors in China began building the Great Wall about 2400 years ago. As we discussed that 2300 years ago, near about, Chandragupta founded the Mauryan Empire. So approximately the same time period, the emperors in China, they began building the Great Wall of China. Clear? When here Ashoka, who was spreading the message of love and peace, at that time Chinese emperors, they were building the Great Wall of China. What was the reason behind it? This wall was built for protection purpose basically. They wanted to protect the country from the outsiders. It was about 2400 kilometers long, and there were watchtowers at the distance of 100 to 200 meter. Means after every 100 to 200 meter, the watchtowers were built there. So this is all about the Great Wall of China that was built during that particular time. Now we'll discuss some of the exercise question of this chapter. Question number 1. Complete the following sentences that you will do in your book itself. Okay, the fill-ups basically they are given. You will complete them. They are in the book itself. Number A. Officials collected dash from the area under the direct control of the ruler. What the officials they were collecting? There you will write. I will tell you the answers also. Royal princes often went to the provinces as. Number C. The Mauryan rulers tried to control dash and dash which were important for transport. Number D. People in forested region provided the Mauryan officials with dash. Let's see the answers. Number 1. Taxes. The official collected the taxes. Royal princes were sent as a governor, and rulers tried to control roads and rivers for transport, and the forested region were providing elephants, timber and honey. Next question it is, state whether true or false. Number A. Ujjain was the gateway to the northwest. Is it true? No, it is false. That was north-south. Number B. Chandragupta's idea was written down in the Arthashastra. Absolutely wrong, because Arthashastra, the book was written by Chandragupta's one of the person who was there in his court, Chanakya. So it is also false. Number C. Kalinga was the ancient name of Bengal. No, it was the ancient name of present Orissa. Number D. Most Ashokan inscriptions were written in Brahmi script. Yes, this is right. So let's see the answers. False, 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 and last one true. So these questions you will do in your book itself. Now it's time for homework. The questions that you will attempt in today's homework, they are: number 1, how did Kalinga war prove to be a turning point in Ashoka's life? What were the means adopted by Ashoka to spread the message of Dhamma? The means you will write here. As he appointed officials, he sent them the other lands also here. So these different you will write here. Number 3, in which script was the Ashokan inscriptions written? Number 4, what was special about Ashoka as a ruler? These questions you will do. Now homework solution of lecture number 1. Question 1 was, who was Chanakya? What was the name of his book? So Chanakya was the wise man in Chandragupta's court. He was also known as Kautilya, and the book name was Arthashastra. He wrote a book named Arthashastra. Question number 2 was, mention 3 important and big cities of Mauryan Empire. Patliputra, that was the capital of Mauryans, and all the political activities were done there only. So it was center for all political activities. Number 2, Takshila. It was a gateway to northwest, including Central Asia. Number 3, Ujjain. It was a gateway to north to south in India only. Clear? So the next question, it was third question. Who was the founder of Mauryan Empire? The founder of Mauryan Empire was Chandragupta. Number 4. What do you mean by tribute? Unlike taxes which were collected on a regular basis and when it was possible from people who gave a variety of things more or less willingly, that was tribute. Basically it was not the fixed as taxes. This was the amount that people they were giving more or less willingly to make the rulers happy, to make the officials happy. They were producing. Number 5. Who sent Megasthenes to the court of Chandragupta? The answer is Greek ruler Seleucus Nicator sent Megasthenes to the court of Chandragupta. So these were the questions in first lecture. I hope that you have understood all the topics covered in today's lecture. So with this, thank you and have a nice day.